Hey, welcome back to the channel. I am really glad you're here because I have got something to show you. You know, sometimes poison ivy hides in plain sight. I have walked this trail so many times in this forest, and today I was walking past this cedar tree and I remembered, cedar trees don't have leaves. This is poison ivy and it's really bad. Let's take a look. So there are the leaves of 3 that we've learned to leave it be, and this is so mature it even has the little seeds popping out, and this has actually overtaken this tree. As I look around this tree, I see the little hairy vine here that's an indicator of poison ivy. When I follow that up, you can see this vine is what these leaves are attached to. But it keeps going all the way to the top of that tree. And that's not the only vine. As I come down and look around the side here, there's another one, big vine, and it's not even attached to the tree, it's just hanging there. But that vine also has poison ivy leaves coming off at the top. So what do? We've got to get rid of it. So there are a couple ways to do this. I made a video about it before. I'm just going to talk briefly about it again. First of all, make sure that we are really well covered. I got my long sleeves on, long pants, long rubber boots that can be washed off. I'm going to put some rubber gloves on too, but I've got to cut these vines close to the ground. And the big ones, now I use a chainsaw, which is kind of controversial because the problem with a chainsaw is chips start flying. You could have chips land, you know, in your shoes. It can get on your face, in your eyes. Chainsaw is probably not the best use of a tool, but on these big fat ones, it's what I do. And I have not had poison ivy for several years, and I cut a lot of it. And I'm pretty sensitive to it. I catch it pretty easily. So I've done really well just by being careful. So let me just cut these vines off and I'll show you what they look like on the bottom. Okay, so what I did here was I cut close to the ground and then I cut up a few inches and then knocked out that piece in the middle. I want to make sure that this cannot reroot itself. I don't even know if that's possible, but I want to make sure that this thing is up off the ground and that vine will choke out. Then I did the same thing on the other side. This vine's actually just hanging there free now. So now within 24 hours, I'll see these leaves start to wilt and die. And I'll be able to know that I've cut all the supply that have been keeping them growing and alive. Now, here's a problem. Again, those seeds, they've been dropping, I suppose, year after year. So this, now that I'm looking around, is sort of a poison ivy paradise, a poison ivy, I don't know. It's all poison ivy in here. Let me show you some other closer shots. Now this is about a 16-inch wide pine tree. Now just like cedars, pine trees don't have leaves, but this tree has lots of leaves from vines. And check this out. See this vine right here? It comes down and it actually grew about 8 feet from the tree, maybe 10 feet. It starts way over here. That thing is about 2 inches in diameter. That's a poison ivy vine growing all the way up that tree. And then as I walk around and see these sister trees to that cedar tree, I only say that because they're smaller, more poison ivy, little 1/4-inch vine. This one over here, 1/8-inch vine. It's just spreading all around back here. Apparently lambs eat poison ivy, so that's a good thing. Now, one of my favorite tools for these little vines is my hatchet. And I just take it at the base and just cut it. And again, I cut a couple inches out of it. That way, it'll just die off. And I go around and make sure it's cut all the way to the ground. And again, I'll know within a day because I'll see these start to wilt. Now a lot of it is just growing right out of the ground here. So for this, you can use some kind of spray to kill it, but I also can just chop it up. Just cut it at the root. And if you have a lamb or a goat, let them eat it up. All right, let's get rid of this big crazy vine. Well, I'm going to continue to cut everything I can find at the base. I'm already kind of itchy just thinking about it, but I know I'm going to be okay. I'm also going to go in after this and take a shower and scrub like mad. I don't want to take any chances with poison ivy. So for the rest of the summer, I'm just going to come out here, keep an eye on it, keep cutting it back. And in my experience, if you keep cutting it, it'll eventually just choke and die out, and it won't come back. You might get new growth from something else, but this poison ivy will die out. And the key is just keep an eye on it. And we have actually, I was going to say very little poison ivy back here, but apparently I've been walking right past it the whole time. So who knows? I'll be looking a little bit more. So anyway, thanks for watching today. I do appreciate it. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you've not yet subscribed to the channel, I invite you to join us. And as always, I look forward to seeing you next time. Well, we can see here the next day that these are starting to droop. Those don't look too bad, but they are definitely hanging down a little more vertical than they were. And this one over here, you can see those are definitely drooping a lot more too. And we can follow that all the way to the top there. And you can see they're drooping, which means they're dying. And if I come back here to this tree, you can see where I cut the vines at the base, and look at them all just drooping. That's a good sign. This is handy because if you missed any, you'll notice the ones that are drooping, and then there might be others that aren't drooping, and then you'll know that you need to cut some more vines somewhere. Right, Irma? That's good. Keep eating that poison ivy.